Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys have been well. It has not been that long, but I really just wanted to get this video up as soon as I could. Also, just to let you guys know, something did happen unfortunately where all of my makeup kind of got tossed and then I had to go find it. So a lot of my products were not used for around like half the month, but I do have progress to show you guys and some empties, which is super exciting. And then also my skin has been kind of acting up. I do have a pimple patch, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna bug with it because I don't want to disturb my skin too much and I just want to give my skin a break. So there's that, but let's get right on into the video. Starting off with primers, the first one that I want to finish that I unfortunately did not finish was this Neutrogena Healthy Radiant Primer and Serum Healthy Skin with Peptides. Mine is frankened and you can't really see very well. Let me see if I can show you. It's kind of settled around here, so it's about halfway done. So I still have a little bit to go, but this will be rolling into 2026 so that I can finally use it up. Then for my gel primer from Be Pure, this one right here, I don't think this is the original one I used because it's a little bit fatter than the last one, but I misplaced that and I need to find it. But that unfortunately was not empty either. A primer that I did finish was my Huda Beauty Easy Blur Primer. This was just the sample, and I do count my samples, deluxe sizes, and full sizes as their own singular items in my inventory. It just makes it easier for me that way. And so it's nice to have a primer out of my inventory. And the first foundation that I want to finish was the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation in the shade Warm Nude. This is not done either. It's about right there. When it's settled, I have these laying down in front of me so I don't forget the order. But this will be rolling into 2026. I am kind of borderline hate panning this, but I do want to get it out, especially because I've already used up so much of it and I can't pass this along to someone. So there's that. And another foundation that I want to work on or try to finish, which didn't happen, but that's okay, is my Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream in the shade 21. So this is what mine looks like right now. And I do feel like I'm making steady progress with this, even if it is a tiny bit. It has thinned a little bit now and I can actually see through, you can kind of see through right there. And this is one of my favorite foundations or BB creams. There's a little bit more coverage and I just love the skin benefits of this too, so I would definitely repurchase this in my correct shade, but for now this is really nice. Then for concealer, I am calling this done. This is my essentially ageless hydrating serum concealer from Be Pure. This is what this product looks like, and amazingly there's a bit of windowing in this. Now I could keep scraping this forever, but there's not really much left and it's kind of getting to the point where it smells a little funky and I don't really want to put on my skin anymore, so I'm calling this an empty. I am very proud of how much I was able to use this. This is 0.5 ounces, so half of a foundation size, which is pretty incredible, and I've been working on this constantly for over half a year, so I'm very happy that this is finally done. For powders, the first one I introduced to you guys was the 1028 powder, but I misplaced that. I don't know where it is right now, and it was not finished unfortunately. And then the next powder that I can show you is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. I'm still using this today. This is still kicking, and there's still a good amount of product in here now, but as you guys can see, we are basically down there. And then for brow products, there are two brow products that I introduced into this project. One was the e.l.f. Wow Brow. I don't know where that is unfortunately, and it was not used up either, but hopefully I can find it soon. Hopefully I can find all these things soon. And the next thing that I want to finish was my Ioni brow pen in the shade Medium Brown, and there is a little bit of product left on here. You can kind of see that right there. However, it's just a little bit more runny than I like. I think I can get a little bit of use left out of this, but at this point I think I'm just gonna call it quits. And when it presses down on the skin, all the product is kind of at the base of the brush, so it ends up just splotching on my brows and it just looks too heavy. So I will be counting this as an empty. Then moving on to the next thing that I kind of introduced for brows, which I'm so excited to share with you guys, is my palette. So this is my Too Faced Natural Eye palette, and as you guys can see, I mean, besides the tiny little corners, but you know, we have finished literally those 2 other shades that I had in here, which is absolutely crazy. That means we have finished 8 out of the 9 shades in this palette, which I'm so happy about because Too Faced eyeshadows are so hard pressed that it's really hard to use them up. And I do have a little bit of the shade Push Up, or no, sorry, Velvet Revolver here at the top, but that's fine because I do like using it for contour. However, I will be putting an X with a marker on all of these, oops, to show that I used them up in 2025, and then hopefully we can get this out for an empty in 2026. And then for eye products, first off, I had my eyeshadow primer from Alter Ego, and this got lost also, so there is still some product in here, and I honestly don't mind that, as you guys can see, because it takes me around a year, if not a year and a half or a year and a quarter, to finish an eyeshadow primer averagely, so it's kind of normal for me if I don't have an eyeshadow primer used up in a year. So I'm pretty okay with that, but going forward I definitely want to try to just be aware of that, I guess, but I'm very happy to still have this around and to still be able to use it. Now for bronzer, this was really cool to see. I got a lot of use out of my Believe Beauty bronzer, and unfortunately it's not finished, but that's okay. This is how much product I have been able to finish in the last month. There is a ton of pan right there, and it's just really cool to see how much is being used, but also how much is left. There is still a ton on the outskirts of the pan. I'm very excited about all the progress I was able to make in the last month. It's very encouraging. Now the next bronzer was this Franken bronzer that I made in this Laura Mercier container. There's still a little bit left in here, you guys, so unfortunately this isn't done either. Just a little bit at the bottom right there. So this should be done very, very soon, at least. And for blushes, I rolled in a ton of blushes, but the focus blush for this month was the Essence the Blush in the shade Bespoke, and I think you'll be able to see that there is not a ton of progress in this blush at all. I think I misplaced this and maybe I expanded the pan a tiny bit, but I actually stopped using this in the middle of the month because I realized that I want to declutter this blush at the end of the year. I don't want to force myself to use it. It's just not a tone that I see myself keeping in my collection, and the packaging is also broken. So this is a very toasty brown blush, and I know so many people love this, but on my skin I just find that it pulls way too warm, and that's just not a look that I love. So there's that little bittersweet, I guess, update, but also very happy to finally be able to declutter this out of my collection. Next was my Rare Beauty blush in the shade Grace. There was a little bit of windowing in this from last time, you guys can see right there, but there is still plenty of product in here and it'll be sticking around for a little bit, which is totally okay. The only reason why I don't like this blush is because I prefer Rare Beauty's dewy formula better than their matte formula, and the color is just a bit bright for me, but I don't mind using this to mix with other blushes. So there's that product right there. And then for a cream blush, I was able to hit my goal on my Franken ColourPop Too Cool for School blush, and I was able to hit pan on this blush. As you guys can see right there, I'm wearing it on my cheeks right now, and that's really exciting. I'm hoping to bring this into 2026 and finish this product as well. And then another blush, which is kind of a bonus, but I decided to show you guys anyway, was my Milk Makeup blush in the shade Work. I was finally able to use this up. There is a little bit of product in there, but I'm not going to dig around for it because it's starting to smell a little bit off. I'm really happy to have a cream blush out of my collection this year. Then for a highlighter, really quick, I have this LA Colors highlight in the shade Shine Bright, and I had this pan in here. I think that it has expanded a tiny bit, but not too much. I feel like I lost this for a bit, but I also stopped using it because there are other things I was reaching for. I am still hoping to finish this sometime in 2026. For my Judy Doll highlighting powder, I unfortunately did not hit pan in this product, but this will be sticking around for a little bit. It's completely flat now, which is nice, but there's just a ton of product left in there, so maybe it'll take me like, I don't know, another 3 years to finish this. And then for an eyeshadow though, I had two. One was the e.l.f. Disco Queen Liquid Shadow, and the one was my Wander Beauty eyeshadow in Bouquet. For the e.l.f. one, this one had windowing of course, but I never got around to putting some eye drops in it to revive this, so this will be staying in my collection because I do like the product. It just needs a little bit of TLC. And then for this eyeshadow though, I did reach my goal and I did hit pan on it, which is super exciting. So you can see it right there. Pretty good size pan on this. It took a little bit, but I just kept going in there with a pretty detailed and fine flat brush for the lid, and there it is. So really excited to have another pan in my really drastically sad pan percentage, but hopefully we can work on that very soon this year also. And for eye products, first I have this Alter Ego eyeshadow primer. There's still a ton of product in this, which is totally fine. It usually takes me a little bit longer than a year to finish an eyeshadow primer, so I'm okay with having this staying around. And then also this mascara from Wet n Wild, the Mega Protein mascara. This is a very wet formula. There's still product in this brush, as you guys can see there. I have to layer another waterproof mascara under this in order for it to kind of just coat my lashes without weighing them down. So it's not my favorite. I wouldn't be repurchasing, but it is what it is. And I think I got it in a pinch. My Clinique mascara, I have misplaced that, but I need to find it soon. So there's that. For eyeliners, guys, I have 3 eyeliners here. The first one was the LA Girl Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Eyeliner in the shade Never Ending Navy. And I've kind of used a little bit of this, but not too much. I decided to just keep it in my collection because I enjoy it, and I don't want to rush to use something that I enjoy, especially if I have to just go out and purchase it again, if that makes sense. For my black eyeliner, this was the Tahari eyeliner, and I still have a ton of this left, but I recently sharpened it, I think, at least once, so still a ton in there, but that's okay. We'll bring it into 2026. But this is really impressive. This is my Tahari eyeliner in this like brownie reddy shade here. Everything kind of looks the same, but this is how much we have left, and I recently sharpened it again for this update because I was using it for my lips, but there's not much product at all in this, and this will be done before the intro of my next project, if not introduced at the intro of my next project pan. And then for just lippies, first off I have this Warm Me Up lip liner from Ioni, and I think I lost this, or I just used different things for a little bit too, but I have this much product left, so not too much, but I definitely need to sharpen it again, and we'll keep using this in 2026. I misplaced my e.l.f. one. I don't know where it is. Hopefully I'll find it soon, but I had these 2 glosses right here. The first one was this LA Colors lip gloss in shiny finish in this new color. It doesn't have a name on it because it's part of a set, but that is pretty scraped out, and this is emptied finally, so I'm super excited about this. As for my L'Oreal Paris lip gloss in the shade Sunlit Shimmer, I think this is the Infallible gloss, there is windowing here, but it's not done, so I still have some of this left, and we'll be using this in 2026, and hopefully it'll be finished soon. Next were these 2 lippies. So this was kind of an interesting story. I scraped out this one because I decided I didn't really like the color, and it's kind of going to be decluttered from my collection. I just wanted to see how much product was in here, and there was a ton. It was probably around this much, and honestly I could have just not scraped it out, but I was just curious as to how much was in here. But I am decluttering this because the color just doesn't really flatter me. And then for my Franken lipstick, this is completely emptied out. I did scrape it out to use as a blush, and that's pretty much where the product is now. So I'm really happy that at least out of those lipstick products or lip glossy products, I was able to finish one. And then lastly, to show you guys, is my dreaded lipstick in the shade Dominant. I looked at the pictures already, and I feel like this looks like it's longer than last time. I don't know how, but here's how much product we have left. There is still a ton of product in here. It's just a very hard color to reach for every single day. I might have to use this as a blush, even though I have so many blushes I want to get through this year, but in order to get out a lipstick, I might just have to do that. And with that being said, you guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this finale. There were a lot of products, and I just wanted to get this out as soon as possible, so I apologize if it's a little bit all over the place and sporadic, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, have a blessed day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!